So the whole residency process starts with about 3 to 4 weeks of presentations from the opportunities. So it'll depend on the cohort size, how many opportunities there are, but typically on Thursdays and Fridays when we won't have classes for our first semester, those opportunities will present to us, and then we can get a good idea of which ones we're interested in or which ones we're not as interested in. And then from those presentations, that informs our decision on which ones to apply to. And then once you apply to those, it's really up to you. You can apply to it as few or as many as you want. But obviously, if you apply to more, you maximize your opportunities, but then you also might get caught up in a lot of interviews later down the road. So moving into the interview process, you start with just a first round interview with some of the residents, which is pretty informal, but then you can move on into second rounds. Then you'll interview with the preceptors, and those are a little more in depth, talking more about the specific residencies. And then I would really encourage reaching out to the current residents and asking what kinds of projects they're working on, what their pros and cons to the residency the one they're in is. And then you can really learn more, because something I didn't know when I was going through all of this is really how different they all are. You do begin your residency going into your second semester. And I will say the second semester course load is a little bit tougher than the first semester. But I think it is a good transition into kind of applying all of that schoolwork into a workplace setting. I was really pleasantly surprised to realize just how much crossover there is. Obviously, the most crossover deals with trends in the industry at any given time. We're talking about those in class, and then obviously you'll see those firsthand in your residency. But things like Excel skills, those hard skills, you'll be utilizing in class, and then you'll definitely be utilizing those in your residency. But something I've even realized from the beginning of the program to now is just how comprehensive your learning really is. And it's not really something that's tangible. It's more kind of a falling into the industry. And ultimately, I would just say that you really become comfortable, and it's a comfortability level that you grow into over the course of the program, which I'm really excited to just continue on that trajectory moving into the second year. I think the biggest advantage that I'm experiencing now is being able to be in an extended administrative residency. In my particular residency, I feel very blessed to get a lot of exposure to a lot of different hospital executives and leadership. That also is the exposure that you get into the classroom. We have a group of adjunct faculty that teaches a lot of our courses that will be later at night, because those are working professionals during the day. But again, gives you that really good, wholesome, comprehensive framework and perspective of the healthcare industry.